Walmart over there. And happy Wednesday, right?
Happy Wednesday.
Middle of the week hump day. What a beautiful day we got going.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to have a stretch of beautiful days. And so
are we done with the Canada smoke? Remember all of that Canada. I've been trying to really stay up on that. And
I think we are. I think we are. I think some of these storms that went through and stuff have helped. So
I think so too. Kind of clear the air. Yeah.
Maybe it's a different kind of smoke we're seeing.
Something's smoking. But I did see, where I could tell a difference, or like, how could you really tell a difference, or is it just like where you think you can tell a difference?
Yeah,
you know
maybe it is, you think, but at the same time, I was like, are my contacts, do I need, what's going on? Is it time to clean the contacts?
Like, how do you describe it? Because I kept thinking, how do I describe this? Let's look at it. You know how you look at it. Okay, here we are at an art museum, which they would kick us out because we're too loud.
Yes.
But anyway, let's say we're at an art museum and you're looking at something and you're trying to describe it. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's, all of these words to be used, but
but I feel like Bob Ross would, if he would have been painting with and then there's some nice Canada smoke
smoke.
Just sitting right there, calm.
Oh, that's beautiful
today. Yeah.
And I know he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That's
so
nice.
I feel like he could describe it perfectly.
I love that. Yeah. And you'll notice that in the background there. Yeah. With your happy trees.
Yeah. I love happy little bird going through the smoke.
Smoke, coughing. The bird drops to the ground. Oh, that's a different.
Wait, that's a different
artist.
That's a different artist. Yes.
All right, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox Lee Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, Springs Valley Bank and Trust, and Temple and Temple.
Yay, thank you to our great sponsors. We appreciate that. All right, things going on in our community. Brad, if you a little bit of excitement going on, which I'm super excited about this. The mayor of our city of Salem have put up lights. The city hall has put some new lights going up on Brick Street. And this should be done, something that it will be, okay, I'm going to use I've seen it in Madison, and they just do it just because every day, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. So I'm so excited about that for our community.
Yeah. And there's, and we got a beautiful square, and the Brick Street is so cool and everything. So
it'd be fun to drive underneath, I'm thinking.
Kudos to them. So.
And of course, my sorority, closer after a little bit after summer or whatever, the end of summer, towards the end of summer, we'll be doing our beer on the bricks, and how beautiful that'll be. Light it up. I love it. Love it. So. And just a little, it's one of those, like, I call them purple cows. Mm-hmm. Just all of a sudden you're driving along and all of a sudden,
hey.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So those are going to be soon. And I know his goal was to have it done before the fair. And this weekend starts kind of kicking off the fair. So looks like it's going to be done.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Love that. When you can check the box.
Yeah.
How you.
I'll tell you what. Yes, I know that. It's like when you get to check that box, it's like, oh yes, thank you. And I'm moving on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Onward, how we go. Yeah.
And if you think about it too, catty cornered, would be on the southwest corner of the square, and they get all that additional parking there and convenience there. So that'll be awesome too.
Yeah, love that. So love that. Yeah.
I always like it when something new and exciting comes to the community.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured that too. I feel the same way too. So trying to use my words today.
We're very blessed here to have a beautiful courthouse and a beautiful square.
Absolutely.
Yep.
For sure. All right. And onward, how we go. Let's see here. We're gearing up, getting ready for not only the fair parade, but we'll have Father's Day on Sunday. So over at Walmart, you guys got it covered. Do you not?
We've got you covered. We've got
you got the baby pools. Dad wants those little pools.
Yeah, we got the pools. We got the kiddie sunny pools.
You know it. Go ahead.
And you can sit in that while he's grilling.
I love that.
Go
do a little grilling, go back and sit.
Yeah.
Soggy bottoms, go.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got we got you covered for that. And we got we got grills, we got anything that you want to do a cookout. But here's the thing that I think that a grill is a good gift for Father's Day, okay? But it's not the gift to make him cook Father's Day. See, what you do on Father's Day is get him the grill.
Okay.
but don't use it on Father's Day. It's for the rest of the summer and the rest of the winter, whenever he wants to use it. But on Father's Day, have someone else grill or have someone else do. We got you covered. We got you covered in the deli. We got you covered with anything that you want for
the
a
wings.
cookout.
Dad wants wings.
Yeah, and the sides and everything, and
Oh.
you know, there's all kinds of stuff to make it a good weekend. And you know, you and I both are all about getting together and doing things and making it easier on yourself.
Yes.
So we've got you covered to take care of Dad, and at the same time, not make him grill for himself and cook for himself. Some like to, but I think, you know, that's a gift in itself. Saying, hey, we're gonna get you covered, but still buy the grill and have the bow on it and ready to go for the day after. So
I love that.
That's just my 2 cents worth in there. But we've got all kinds.
Wait, do you know? Real quick, going back to the grill. Let's talk about this grill. Do you know how it's so funny to watch people approach grills, and then the way they touch them.
It's like a new car.
And then hold on, and then the lid has to be lifted.
Yes.
And you know, I would love to like have something that
it's
would
like looking under the hood for a new vehicle.
Exactly. You know how like it'd be hilarious if we put something that like would scream out real quick.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's so funny to watch people, and I see it all the time. You know, they walk
around them.
They do.
They check out the wheels, see how they roll.
Exactly. And then you have so many different kinds over there. You know, you have the kind that's got the griddle on the side. You've got the kind that's got the I don't know, whatever other devices. You've got them like
you got smokers attached to the grills, everything
you want.
You've got pellet grills, you've got gas grills, you've got charcoal grills. Now,
have we not come a long way, baby? On
yes,
grills?
we have. But you know, I'll tell you, I always refer back to Pop. You know, he's a traditionalist. He's got that round black grill charcoal, but I'll tell you what,
those hot dogs. Get out.
Yeah, I mean,
man,
it's like.
Don't even get thinking. Now I'm thinking about them. You know, okay, now his food and his hamburger. Oh, now you got me.
The hamburgers and hot dogs. You can't. Yeah.
Okay. Text right now and see if we can get them right now.
Yeah. On the traditional round black charcoal grill. I mean,
you can't beat charcoal. It really is.
Yeah.
You know.
So
no, but here's the thing. Yeah. Okay, ultimately, like charcoal is like it's got the taste, right?
Yes.
But we don't have that time a lot of times.
No.
So that's where the other comes into play.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's when we retire, if ever.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, there's loyalists, and there's, you know,
absolutely.
the griddle grills. People love those, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have come a long way. We have come a long way. Yeah,
the progress we have made with grills. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I feel like the American.
I mean, that's America right there.
I know. That is America for sure.
You know.
That's exactly.
And what cracks me up is, I'm one. You know, I'm one of these people.
I
have a gas grill and I have a charcoal grill, and it's for convenience. It's just because convenience.
Oh, absolutely.
If I'm in a hurry, the gas grill. But if I've got time, charcoal grill. And you know, I do think it's funny, and you know, happy Father's Day early to Pop, but it just cracks me up because you know, he shows up with his own grill and his own charcoal.
I love that,
and
man.
You know, we appreciate.
Would John Wayne show up with anybody else's gun but his own?
Right.
No, I mean that is exactly. Did John Wayne not tell us you never switch, you never use someone else's gun? You always stay with what you know.
And I think you agree with me that when he shows up like that, we're like, okay, everything's fine now.
Oh,
it's fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. Would we expect anything different?
I know.
No,
I'm first in line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Get her.
And you said it funny. I want a hamburger and a hot dog.
Absolutely, one of each. Yeah. Well, you torn between two levers. Why do that to yourself?
Yeah.
Just
so. But we got you covered over there, and apparel. You know, I think that's one thing, and you guys everybody out there at every store is going to see a lot of things changing in what we refer to as apparel. It's actually Walmart is because of our expanding different brands, and we're going to add some brands here at Salem, even you know, summer brands, because in a couple weeks, overnight, for a couple days, you're going to see everything in our apparel pad change. We're getting new fixtures. The walls are going to change. Things are going to move around, and we're truly focusing on upping our game for apparel, and we're actually even rebranding it. It's going to be fashion. We've got a lot of new stuff coming out, and you know that you can find really good deals on really good products now. I mean, just in the last 2 years, 3 years, we've upped our game as a company. So I'm excited about that, but you're going to see a lot of fashion and stuff. But right now we've got you covered for Father's Day, and shoes, anything you need. underwear.
Oh,
the underwear.
I know.
I like
And
to
actually,
post. Hang on,
hang
Father's
on.
Day's almost here.
Absolutely. And I did
So.
see, and for those little, I love also giving like information, because you had a huge cart full of clearance down men's underwear just in time for Father's Day.
Yes.
So ladies or children or anybody or men, if you need to just go get some yourself,
it was out of here.
Yeah, it is. It really is. That's
and
that's
I think
awesome.
That's awesome.
Very apropos. But
so we got Father's Day covered.
Well, happy Father's Day to you,
covered.
Bradley.
Well,
coming
you.
up. You got to.
I think I'm waiting on. I'm pretty sure that Max will come through with the card. I'm pretty sure. I am.
He'll come through with it, and it'll have a Paul stamped on it. It'll be a dirty Paul because he's been in the pool
and the mud.
And the mud, yeah.
Yeah. So, and sorry, this is how we are about fathers are about certain things. So,
okay, let's hear
the pool's open. Because as you can tell, I'm not wearing black anymore. So,
I know. No, I noticed you. Yeah.
Everybody tells
You're being very colorful these days.
Open.
Yes, much more.
Open.
Yeah.
Thank you. How could you
new
tell?
day. A new day has arrived.
Is it the smile? But anyway, so
you
know how I am about cleaning the pool and making everything and getting the deck nice. I'm just
chef
it's
kiss.
Just, it's
spot
my
on every bit of it. Yes,
it's my one of my many happy places. But so I was in the pool, and Max thinks the pool's his, of course, which it is, and so he decided that he was going to do a jump, his first jump in for the year.
Love it.
And so he jumped, and he was right by the steps, and he went and got by the steps, and he loves it. But so he was just like, ooh, it's a little colder than I thought, it's just like, no, it's actually warm, but okay. But he was like, he shook off, and then he disappeared, and I was like, okay. So I was still piddling. I was cleaning the pool and stuff, and so he comes back, and I don't know where he went, but he his paws front and back were dirty, and it was like he was just going to test, and he jumps in to clean them off, and then he gets out, and he's just like, I was just checking. I'm like, kids.
Yes, here we go again.
He wasn't a cute little dog. I would be mad at him, but
all the time.
And he's like, hey, oh, you can get that for me, right? You can get that for me. But it's just so funny.
That's so bad. It's so funny though. I love that though.
So I'm pretty sure that
we need to really work on him on his jump. They have those competitions where to see how long. I bet I can work with him. I bet I could get him to.
He would listen to you. Yes,
I think so. From the deck to the end of the pool, I need a lunge.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so he'd have to kind of get running. And I
think you could. And he would for you.
I would love that. I would love that.
For me, he just gets and he goes like, I'm going to jump, but I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do a cannonball. But because he can jump.
That's what I'm saying. No, his breed.
Yeah,
that is a beautiful breed.
Yeah,
that breed it's all about it. I think we could go. We're going to go on the road with this.
Yeah, he would listen to you before he listens to me. How that goes.
I can see.
Same thing that Brutus was.
This might be our.
I think he's my best friend.
I'm coming. Jump in mommy's arms. Boom.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so
wait, here's what I would say: don't get mommy's hair wet. Boom. Right.
Me too. I worry about that. But yeah, so we got you covered.
You do.
And we got a lot of things going on too.
But real quick for men's, so let's give some suggestions. Okay.
Oh.
Do you want? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is this a?
Yes.
Do men want ties, you think, anymore? Is that because that used to be the tradition for Father's Day?
That used to be.
You think we're kind of over that?
I think we're kind of over that.
I don't see as many ties.
I think because just in general, even what people call business casual are.
I agree.
No,
I agree. I agree.
Not ties and stuff like that. And now we have like dress sneakers that
which
CEOs are wearing, and they look great.
They look fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, so.
A lot of the like when I go to DC, they'll have really nice suits on, and they wear like the nice shoes or the nice tennis shoes. They look really nice too. Yeah. So I think we've come a long way on that.
We have. I think ties. Here's the thing. I think that if you're gonna go somewhere that you need a tie, I think that you probably at the time decide what you're going to wear and then a tie. I think just getting a tie, even going to church services and stuff, a lot of, maybe it's a tie, but a lot of times it's not. So, I mean, I just think, but now I like a good tie, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't turn that down. But I think dads like things that are, and a little trivia for
Okay.
you. One of our best-selling
Ooh, I love this.
items for Father's Day is the car wash cleaning kits.
I love that.
That
Oh, good
all-enclosed
idea.
bucket and
Yeah,
all that's one of our best sellers for us at Walmart
I love that.
for
That's a
Father's
great
Day
idea.
weekend. So
Well, you're always trying to think. I feel like it's hard. I feel like, Father's
Mhm.
Day is very hard, and I feel like
Mhm.
that's very difficult. And I think that's a great idea.
yeah,
That's a real good idea.
which I didn't realize that until I was on a call
Uh-huh.
this week, and I would have guessed something else, and that was part of a trivia thing for our call. And so, you know,
Yeah.
so
Well, that.
and
Go ahead. Socks,
so
underwear,
we may
and
have
you've got some fun
we may
T-shirts over there
have
too. Some Father's Day fun T-shirts.
so one of our wonderful regular listeners, we appreciate it, sent in and said for Dad to use to clean Mom's car.
I love that. Who was it? I can't
Our
read it.
producer.
Okay. Oh, okay. I love that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
Yes. Very smart.
Very smart.
Very smart.
And that is good. Thank
Exactly.
you for that.
I
That
love
is
that.
very
I love
smart.
that. Yes. I got this so you could clean my car up. I love that.
That's a good one. One thing that goes over well too is and this may sound silly or whatever, but if it's time for an oil change or something like that, you take his vehicle and get the oil changed and
look at
things
that.
like that. Emergency roadside kits. And another thing too is we sell a lot of things to work on, tools and things like that for them to work on their summer projects, to build Mom that swing, all that kind of stuff, right?
I love that.
But so those are great.
Do you have
gifts.
hearing aids over there too? Little hearing like to help maybe the selective hearing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I feel like there's.
I feel like I just completely threw you off.
Yeah,
you're like,
I don't. Yeah,
your mouth just dropped.
Well, I mean,
Brad, speechless. What? What?
Maybe I should invest in some of those. I've been accused of that selective hearing at times.
I'm just I'm thinking, but no, I love giving ideas because it seems like it's so hard because a lot of times, is this fair to say that a lot of men just kind of, if they need it, they go get it. I mean, kind of
that
right.
Is fair.
I mean, right. Like if that's
I
something, and because they really are, or if it's the right time and they need it, go get it.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of things, with the honeydew list, there's things you need all the time because that's not just once a year. Well, sometimes you only get one project done a year, but that's okay.
Hey,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, we give grace.
But yeah, so I think that just I think we've moved past ties. I think there's so many other things.
There's
So, but yeah.
Well, and I think there's like you're talking about like projects. If you if you want to kind of get Dad maybe some mulch. That might be something the man might really want, right?
Yes. And we have, if he's already got the grill, we've got the kits to go with it to do everything. The tongs, the bottles to marinate with, everything.
Now that is so funny because I always used to, for some reason, I would like not buy the expensive, nice tongs and the turning, the flipping and all that. And then when you do use the nice stuff, oh my goodness.
Yes. And they last so much longer.
Oh my goodness. And they're longer.
Yes.
Like you don't get burnt. You don't.
They know what they're doing, right? There's a reason it's cheaper. It's to save money for the emergency room visit.
Exactly. Yes. And that's something those are really, that's a fun area to look at all this stuff.
Yeah. Yep. It is. That is true.
And patio furniture. I'm sure Dad wants to take a nap, right?
Yeah, gotta get Dad his favorite lounge chair to set outside. There's all of that, and of course, there's all kinds of cups and things to use for outside. When you're outside, you want to keep your coolers. There's a lot of times that Dad's going to the lake.
Nice coolers
just
too.
Whatever they're wanting to do. So
rugs, nice rugs that Dad might want.
Yeah, I mean, he might. But
I see your face like looking.
Well, I mean, no, I mean.
Well, I mean, he's going to enjoy it too, right?
Yeah, AstroTurf for the putting green. We sell that in rolls, so there you go.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny.
I mean, it's small, but it's still fun.
Yeah, but that's his own little.
Can't go wrong with
his own little strip of.
He can make the man garage or whatever.
Well, don't they put that in the bathroom sometimes, like, and then he could pet when?
Yeah.
Have I seen that?
Yeah, that would be
right.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be good. And changing the subject in a bathroom way, but we've got all kinds of different, like, body washes and all that kind of stuff for
Cologne, men's
and
cologne too.
and,
Yeah,
and
you
the
do.
choice
You
is just,
do.
it's
Yeah.
just, but my advice to anybody is,
Ooh.
and you can find a selection anywhere, but of just make it personal.
I
Even
agree.
it does not have to
Oh.
be big gift. It does not have to be. Just get something that they will like.
I agree.
And it may not be the dad down the street would want the same thing. Just take the time to say,
pickles and Big Red.
If I want,
whatever, whatever, make it.
Absolutely.
You couldn't have said it any better. Make it personal.
Yeah.
Whatever, and those custom gifts are the best. Like that. Yeah.
And so there's all kinds of options for Father's
There's
Day.
Also some other flavored beverages for those that might want to. Or
yes, there's a wide selection.
There's a wide selection of that for those that might want to go that route.
Yeah.
And then of course there's all kinds of cakes, cookies, and good stuff.
Yeah, and So and I think, and I'm not trying to stereotype, but I think I would assume that most dads or people who have stepped in to be dads, I think just something that is sentimental, and I don't think dads always like to admit that.
Yeah.
But I think even if it's just a thing of their favorite cookies.
Oh, absolutely.
That's more valuable than anything.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
So make it personal, but there's all kinds of ways you can go with it.
Yeah.
But now that's nice weather, the car washing kit, and he can use it for him and for mom.
That's one of the best ones I've heard. Yeah, I love that.
A really good one.
And I think that's something that that I think everybody, you can always use. Yeah. And a lot of times you don't maybe get those for yourself, Yeah.
Oh, and there's some chargeable, battery powered, rechargeable car vacuum things that are made specifically for vehicles. Someone got me, I don't remember who it was. Someone got me that as a gift, and it's wonderful. So that'd be a great Father's Day gift as well.
I actually saw yesterday, it was a man, it was here in the community, and he had 2 little girls, and they were washing the car. And I was stopped at the stop sign, and they were completely soaking wet, and they were all, it was the cutest, like,
yes.
I wanted, like, when I see things like that, like, I want to have a photo for them. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking these are memories just so much that, because years ago, my dad used to pay us to wash his station wagons. And we were like wet, more than the station wagon, you know what I mean? And I can remember just all of that top of that station wagon, doing that. And we'd get a little bit of money for doing that.
And the memories were
just yes. And of course back then, you didn't have all the phones and stuff like that. But I just thought I just treasured that for the dad, and he was wrangling those girls. It was so cute. Yeah. And they had, and the hose, and they were
having the time of their life.
Oh, it was adorable. It was so cute. And and it was just such a cute I photo, but then I didn't take it, but I was like, oh, I really,
that would be,
but I wanted to take it and give it to them. You delete it. I don't want the photo, not for me, but for them. Yeah. I treasure things like that. Awesome. Yeah. Because I remember that. And then of course, he'd come out every now and then and help, wash too. And again, we would get him wet, and he, the hoses, they go everywhere.
They do. I don't know how that happens.
I don't know either. If I have a hose and Greg White steps outside, I guarantee you that man, what happened? It's raining.
What's going on?
I know that poor man. Yeah. I know. He knows it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's okay. It's good.
He waits till he hears the water turned off.
Yeah. You hear the sound of the outside water spigot
now it's
turning
safe
on
to go outside.
You're just like, because otherwise it's like, no.
I need to have a recording of it and play it so he thinks it, and he comes out the door. That's what I need to do.
That would be classic.
Funny. Yeah. Yes. All right. So Father's Day, please don't forget your dear old dad. But I think just like mom, the number one thing is spending time together, acknowledging, and and just
absolutely.
You could write a poem. You could do that. Get a card.
Poet and didn't know it.
I could make a rhyme any old time. Remember that? Yeah. But get a card. Get some. I
think more than anything, just it's okay to ask. You know, say, hey, because a lot of people have everything. You think they have everything. You know, there's something, and just ask.
Right.
Say, you know, hey, I appreciate all you do for us all the time, but
Yeah.
is there something for Father's Day? You know.
Yeah.
And it may be just, you know, maybe get a card, just spend time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes that's
Breakfast
the
in
best.
bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The best
Right?
gift is time that
It's
we
time.
give to people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway.
All right. I love that. We love that. Yes.
Yeah.
So enjoy. All right. We're moving right along here on to the 11th day of June. This is Corn on the Cob Day. Oh, yum.
Oh, thank you. Isn't that every day during the summer?
We were just talking about that. Remember how, like, okay, what's the seasoning? Okay, so you take your corn on the cob, which I love it on the grill. I love corn on the cob on the grill. Okay, so what's that, like, red seasoning that you put on there, or what is that? It's kind of like a spicier seasoning. What is that they put on?
Some people put cayenne pepper.
Is that what it is?
And some people put paprika. But if you get a smoked paprika, like not just like the standard paprika you put on deviled eggs, you get a smoked paprika, it's got a little bit of a spicy flavor to it. That's really good and gives a little smoky flavor to your corn on the cob on the grill. It's very good.
Is that like a powder you sprinkle on? No, when would you do that?
After you've cooked it, after you've grilled it, and then you put butter on it, and then you put like that queso cheese on it, and then sprinkle a little bit of that.
What kind of cheese? What?
Like the queso,
the white cheese?
Yeah, the white crumbly cheese. Put that on there, and that melts. It makes a street corn. You can go to a Mexican restaurant in town and get street corn, and that's what it is. It's awesome.
Well, I've had it at Disney World, but I didn't know what they had on it, and I honestly didn't care.
So you soak the corn on the cob in the shuck.
Let's tell us professionally how to
do soak it in the shuck, and you can either
soak it in
grill
water.
it in water, and you can either grill it with that completely covering it, or you can bring the shuck back before you put it on the grill.
Which I've done either way. I've done both. Which way do you do it?
I like it without the shuck on it. I like it just on the grill and just lower.
Me too.
When it's lower. That's just what I like to do. But you get I know this is terrible, but you get one of those squirt bottles of clarified butter that's melted, basically. And when the corn comes off there, you can still have the shuck on the other end. You roll it and squirt that butter on that corn, so it goes around. You know, so you get it covered.
The face you're seeing here is like,
get it covered, and then you sprinkle that crumbly cheese, the queso crumbly version of it, the white cheese, and then you just keep rolling that so there's crumbles and it slightly melts too, and then you put smoked paprika and salt and pepper on top of it. It's wonderful. Easy to do. Some people just take the queso already liquid and put it on there too. But I like the crumbly because it's not in every bite, and it kind of. But isn't your
crumbly going between like if you have it on a grill, are you putting it on a grill, or like you?
No, you do that. You do that after you take it off the grill when it's hot on a platter.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, that makes sense. I kept thinking
then
my
you
grill.
Put the butter on it, and then you put that stuff on it on the platter
after you've taken it off. Okay, that makes sense because I kept thinking
Now I have been known to throw a little bit of butter on it when it's grilling, just a little bit.
Oh, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Yeah. Okay, corn on the cob day. Love it. Love it. Yeah. This is also National German Chocolate Cake Day.
Oh yeah.
I love German chocolate cake. Here's my thing is though, I like the icing all around it. Like I like to make sure the icing, and I feel like sometimes that people are a little less with.
Well, there's some versions that they put it just on the top and in between the layers, and it's like
I need a little bit more.
So I have this wonderful lady that works for Walmart. I will not give her name, but
because everybody will be calling her.
I know. She makes a German chocolate cake. Here's what she does. Ooh. She does the coconut icing, pecan icing on the top and in the middle, but the rest she makes she gets a dark chocolate fudge icing to put around the outside, so that encases the coconut icing, and then she sprinkles chopped up pecans like what's in the thing on top of it, and puts them part of the way around the side. Thank you. And it's German chocolate cake because you got the coconut.
Yeah, I'm in.
But that extra dark chocolate icing, just enough, Thank you. Sorry. I'm here all day.
I know.
People out there on TV, you would see me gesturing with my hands like, give me piece of that cake. But,
Love
yeah.
that. Love it.
So,
National Making Life Beautiful Day. I
should
love
be
that.
every day.
And I think you have to be so careful. Okay, like I think a lot of times you have different seasons in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that a lot of times and you don't always know what everybody's going through, ups and
Mm-hmm.
downs and stuff. And I think we
Yeah.
have to really be very kind on that. But I think
so.
that a lot of times, and I'm going to say this, and I mean this, and I'm saying this to myself too. We have to remember how beautiful life is.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes, and I get it, there's like so many other things that are like in the factor of maybe some negatives or things going on, maybe obstacles or stuff. But sometimes if we can just stop and think, like the good people, we had a beautiful story on Swap Shop the other day where this man really gifted this other man a house because he didn't need it. I mean, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I'll go into
Yeah.
detail. I've already, for those that have already heard the story, but I mean, there's good people out there.
There are. And I think, and I'm an advocate for social media being used in the right way.
Yes. 100%.
I totally, am an advocate for that. However, I think that one thing that social media and just communications expanding so much is there's a tendency to focus on the negative. And it's not because I don't think people are negative.
Yeah.
I think it's just those things that sometimes it's used to, well, maybe I want a poor, pitiful me moment. But at the same time, I think that there's almost camaraderie in when people are going through something tough. There's almost, or something bad, and they talk about it. It's kind of like open therapy out in the community instead of talking, amongst your friends, peers, or whatever. But I think it's kind of swayed things to where you go, I'm people can relate to me more when I talk about maybe something going wrong or something that, is a little more negative, because I think people a lot of times are afraid that when they just are happy in their lives and post that stuff, that other people take that as bragging or, trying to whatever. So I think sometimes we think about the negative a little bit more than we really should. And I had someone tell me, and I think this is a good perspective, is that when you think about your day and just go back and replay in your mind the day before, it is human nature almost to focus on maybe 2 minutes of something negative and everything else in your day was positive and things like that. And you focus on that because it's not the norm.
Right.
So if you've got a comfortable, happy life, or just, life is, whatever your station in life is, the things that are out of the norm. So out of your routine, if your routine is, this is just what my life is, and then something bad, that you feel that pothole. And so I think that's kind of, I went down a rabbit hole with all that.
No, I think it's good.
I still
it's good.
think that, that's just kind of our nature to be. But I think it's very important, just, just to compartmentalize the negative, meaning realize that's just a blip.
Yeah,
that's not the overall thing. And that's difficult. And even in tough situations, I get it. That is so difficult. But if you kind of just say, okay, I had an example of this would be if you ask someone to list 5 positive things about their day yesterday and 5 negative things about their day yesterday, they'll list the 5 negative things very quickly, because that's things that's out of their norm, out of their comfort zone. That's the potholes. They have more of it. They have a lot of times more difficult time thinking about all of the good things, right?
Yeah.
I used to think that was because, we just we kind of take things for granted. And that's kind of a negative way to look at that. And again, I had actually a very wise friend of mine say, the reason that people have a harder time thinking about the good things is because they're the it's the norm for us. There's so many good things.
Mhm.
It's harder to
Yeah.
isolate
Yeah.
because we don't focus on each individual good things. We just put them together and they
Mhm.
kind of get whitewashed. But the things that are out of more negative
Yeah.
things are the potholes that you notice driving
Yeah.
down the road. You didn't notice the 4 miles that you drove, that the highway was
Smooth
perfect and
and
smooth
beautiful.
and everything,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And the tree that you saw as you drove by and all that. So
Yeah.
I think that, again, that's a rabbit hole, but I think
No, I think
that's
it's true. Yeah. Yeah.
kind of in that tangent to me.
Right.
But I think that you gotta find a way to realize that even in the toughest situations, that the sun will shine at some point,
Yeah.
or it's there. Maybe it's behind the cloud, but it's still there.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be
No,
preachy.
no, I love that. I love that. So now, and it's a good, this is a good way, good food for thought for the morning. And again, Bob Holler, attitude of gratitude. Just,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, just
Yeah.
try to, you know, and
Yeah.
we know there's not always going to be that, you know, there's going to be things like potholes like you're talking about and stuff,
Yeah.
but you just try to,
Yeah.
you know, focus on, you know, all of the good things and try to, you know,
Yeah.
onward ho.
Speaking of him, was he just
Fantastic.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
It was funny because I actually thought of him with a statement that someone said. When life is said and done, all that counts is what was true and truly felt, and how we treated one another.
I love that. That would be completely, yeah. That's exactly
That would be him.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
All right. And speaking of Father's Day, then also my dad, this was something he always said: we hope you have sunshine in your life today, and hope you have a great day and have no pain. That was one of his.
I love that.
Yeah, that was one of his favorite sayings.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, Brad, we're going to switch gears. So there's some different. So National Making Life Beautiful Day. So let's make life beautiful today.
Yeah.
All right. What's the most? Okay, we're talking about men, you know, because we're coming up on Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most underrated guy code rule?
So many.
Brad, I love.
Is this a poll?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the most underrated one.
Yeah. It says
Don't
that.
Talk at the urinal.
Wait, I love that. Okay, hang on. I love that so much. Let's see if it's on here. Okay, I've not pre-read these.
Yeah.
Okay, when they talk about the guy code or the bro code, it might be confusing to to ladies, right?
Yeah.
So here's some help for us ladies, okay? Even though it's supposed to be, again, coming back to us, right?
Let's make Father's Day about mom.
But mom always comes back to, the
Yeah.
arrow always comes back, pointing back at us.
I get it.
Okay, number one, if you call your bro over to help you move or to unload furniture, you are required to provide food or booze or some kind of drink.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the bro code.
I don't feel like that's underrated. I think that's just unspoken and it's known. So
yeah.
I mean, underrated to me seems like, you know, it doesn't get the attention it deserves. That's just a building block of a bromance helping you out doing something.
I love it. So
Sorry.
so let's use this real quick. If you were actually helping someone bring one of those huge grills over there, would it be appropriate then to use the grill to cook the food? Let's fire that grill up.
I think guys would before.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this.
Well, or bring the stuff so in case they get the hint to fire the grill up. Let's test that thing out.
That's right. No, that's exactly what I would believe that men would say. Let's test that out. Let's give her a run. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right? Mm-hmm. I do believe that. Okay. Yeah. And that would be appropriate. That'd be
predictable.
Okay. That'd be
absolutely.
Predictable. I love that. I love that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Number two, if you didn't buy it, never take the last one.
Correct. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Especially, and that's primarily talking about adult beverages, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
Wait, this is hilarious.
The last one always goes to whoever brought it.
I never thought about this.
If you brought it or bought it,
look
you get the last one.
You already know all of this.
Yeah.
Look at you. That is so.
Yeah.
You beat your chest over there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know. I never even thought about that. Okay, number three, just show up when you're called upon. It's like throwing up the bat signal.
Yep.
When somebody needs something.
Yes.
Like just showing up when called upon.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that's I love that.
I do think that's underrated too. I do agree
Yeah.
with that being underrated because that's very important.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that men, like, you guys really, you'll get it. You know what I mean? You get that a lot of times. That you like helping out. Don't you feel? I mean,
yeah. And we get it without having to talk about getting it.
Wait. And
you don't have guys sitting around a week from now over a latte saying,
"You are so bad over there. I'm going to get a squirt gun. I'm going to get a squirt gun for this summer. Every time I'm going to squirt
you. Notice?
I'm going to
did you notice
you.
that?
Look at you.
Did you notice that Jim Bob showed
Ouch.
up? He just, you know, one text went out and half an hour later he was there. Did you notice that? We don't do that.
Oh, you are so bad over there.
I am sorry.
Look at you.
I am sorry.
Ouch.
But am I wrong?
No, you're totally right. That's exactly.
See, there you go. And no offense to anyone out there.
No, but it's so true.
I mean,
don't
that
think this
love.
wouldn't be talked about. Absolutely.
I know. Because it's like, well, because what would happen is if it was the reverse, the guys would be like, did you notice that Jim Bob showed up last week? And everybody would look at him like, yeah.
You do it with,
and the conversation would be over.
Bradley
the
Gilbert,
conversation would be over.
Out, cuts like a knife. I felt that over here. There was a cold front that just came in the radio.
Hey, but I want to tell you what.
I am going to get a squirt gun.
There's a lot of,
and on Wednesdays, I will squirt away.
A lot of our 7 listeners were shaking their head in agreement with me.
I'm cracking up. You know it. And there's no denying that.
Yeah. That's true.
It's just so funny. Okay. Okay. So bad. Okay. Number 4, riding shotgun is a responsibility. You're a co-pilot, not a passenger.
Oh, absolutely. So if you got to get the dipping sauce for the nuggets, if you got to say, oh, up here, you turn right, or, you know, hey, you know, that's where so-and-so lives, or it's where, you know what, you got an options here. We can turn right here, save a couple time, or we can go up here and turn left and be completely lost.
Love that.
No, absolutely. Oh.
Yeah. I love that.
And whoever is my co-pilot, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter if you're male, female, or Max. I expect you to be an active participant.
I love that. I love that so much. Absolutely. Now, how do you feel about...
There's a reason that I like riding in the back and not being shotgun,
you like
too.
being chauffeured. I know the truth.
I don't have to participate.
You like waving
I can nap.
You like waving
nap
at
wave.
the smaller people over there, or whatever. Yeah, you're chauffeured.
Yeah.
What's your rule on the radio? Is it the driver or the co-pilot? Who's got the responsibility of keeping the radio and doing the radio?
When I'm driving, I expect my co-pilot to do that.
Okay.
Because I'll say, hey, can you turn into Bluegrass Junction? Can you, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
So, but the co-pilot loses authority over the radio
I love this. Okay.
when...
Great responsibility here.
And, the sad thing about it is I do get comments from a couple of different co-pilots that I have, and I'm not going to name any names, but it's like, you realize you can adjust the volume and change through the thing on the steering wheel, right? This is we're having time together. We're spending time together driving down the road. So it's a group effort here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I don't want to change it to something and then hear, or we could turn. Is that too loud? I can't hear it. I mean, so then participate.
To participate, then be a part. Yes,
that's not negative. That's just,
I know.
But there's one time you got to relinquish your co-pilot when you're trying to find an address, because everyone knows that you cannot find an address or know directions if the radio's too loud.
Oh yeah, you have to turn the radio down.
Turn the radio down and concentrate.
Exactly, absolutely. I told you about the time that Bob Seger was turned down, and no, it was just like. Yeah. And actually, just the opposite. It was another time too that Bob Seger was on, and I could not tell him that he needed to take that exit because I was too much into Bob Seger, and we missed the exit. Yeah. And I was like, well, I couldn't turn down. You don't touch Bob Seger when Bob Seger. Yeah. It's holy grail.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't.
There's like,
we
totally don't turn down the Eagles.
But
there's groups that you just
I do have
Boston
people close to me that near and dear that I love that have differing views on co-pilot touching the music. So.
But see, I'll tell you what's refreshing to me, because I'm into music all the time and disc jockeying all the time for years. I think it's kind of fun to listen to someone else do it, because I like to see what it's interesting to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I think great pressure on, like Greg White has got great pressure because he knows that I'm going to be judging him right or left on whatever song or whatever vibe he's.
Yeah, because it's your lane.
It has spoken. I've spoken. There we go. The tribe has spoken. Yes, exactly. Because at any given time, the torch could be put out.
Yeah.
And it could be taken away.
Yeah.
Because that's just
us riding down the road. Us either one shotgun. Us riding down the road shotgun. Either one. It's going to be like, if you're driving, this is the rules. If I'm driving, this is the rules, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's just, I enjoy it. No, I'm like, okay, you, and this is what I'll say, you disc jockey it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when we're like on road trips in other states, but I know
I would defer to you though, even as the shotgun. I would defer to you just because it's what you do.
And
I know that whatever you.
And I'm going to find some good vibes. Yes,
absolutely. So that's different, but we're always different. Aren't we?
Okay.
What a crew. But anyway, it's part of our charm. Part of our charm. Just saying. Am I judging you?
Yes, I am judging.
Isn't
that? I know.
But
people are gonna be scared to ride with me, aren't they?
There's a little. I agree with you though. Back to before I got on the rabbit hole again.
Nobody's gonna ride with me.
Is today Lucky Rabbit's foot day? Well, it's not lucky if you take their foot. Is it really lucky? Oh. But anyway, so. But I think. I am one that it regardless of if I like the type of music, because I'll listen to anything. I really will. And just there's times that something's not inappropriate depending on your audience, but whatever. But it is kind of calming to me that someone is comfortable enough to feel like they could play their music and technically not be in control of the music, but be in control of the music. And I think that's kind of I think that's kind of comforting to me, in that it's like they're relaxed and
I think it's like speaks volumes of how well, like how I'm really working on myself to allow that to be done.
Well,
I don't think
that's a good point.
That was a huge hurdle.
That's a good point.
That is. Am I not doing better?
The last few years has caused me to get over that hurdle. So See, we've grown. Once again, it's about us.
We're growing.
We're growing.
See, we were work in progress. They said it couldn't be done. We are.
They say.
Jeannie and Charlotte said it can't be done.
It can't be done. If we can't do it, no one can.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if your bro calls, what we're doing for those just now tuning in, we're talking about the underrated guy code rule. Okay, real quick, if your bro calls in the middle of the night and says, "Hey, are you up for coffee?" You just say, "Where do we meet?" No further questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because if the coin was flipped, there would be
Bradley again. I'm going to squirt you with the water gun if I had one.
Would be,
I know exactly.
What's going on? And would want to talk about it on the way to the coffee shop.
Isn't it true? I'll stay on the line while we drive.
We drive. Yeah.
It would be. Yeah.
You just show up.
I love that. Okay, which actually, in the grand scope of things, if you're looking at that, that's the way to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6, you never complain about the brand of beer if it's free.
Oh. The best beer is free beer. I have friends that say that, it's like, but you don't complain. But that's about anything. It's not just about that. It's just like, you don't complain if that's the soda they brought, or if that's the chips they brought.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't complain.
Oh, no.
Yeah, thank you.
Number 7, that the strength of your character is measured by who you can lift up, not by who you put down.
I agree with that.
I think
a rising tide raises all ships.
I feel like a lot of men don't put people down.
No, that's what it's saying is your character is good if you focus on who you lift up.
Think of all the men you're around and all the men I'm around. Like everybody, and let's go in our community.
There's that one sketchy one, but for the most part,
But for the most part, I don't feel like that's something that men.
And and I don't mean this, and this is, how do I say this without saying, like, I think sometimes that men, I, I, I think, men and women, 99% of the time try to lift people up.
I agree.
Both. I think men sometimes can come across like they maybe lift people up a little bit more than putting them down, because a lot of times men don't want to, we kind of are bottled up, and we don't always criticize because we think, and this, I could be wrong. I think, well, I don't want to be criticized for things. Yeah. And maybe it's not criticism, it's just addressing something. And so I feel like, but I feel like that it is men or women. I think women are the same way. I think you guys have this thing that you levitate to friends that lift each other up.
Yeah.
I think that's human nature. So I don't think that's just a bro code thing. I think that's just a human code almost,
Well, the reason I think that it's more, if you want to, with the man thing, the bro code is maybe you're a little less words, and maybe it seems like sometimes you guys aren't even thinking, like you're already on to something else, like, or there's a different thought pattern. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
We
move on to the next speed bump instead of focusing on the one we just drove over. Maybe we, and we are normally less words, especially because some situations when you're around your bros, that's the least amount of words that you have to speak. Because I cannot remember the last time that one of my friends, a guy friend, said, "So, how are you feeling today?" Or if I said, "Well, today's been whatever," it's just like, "Yeah, me too," and you're done with it.
I know, but see, like, but
and if I said, never mind. Yeah, less words is great. You sum that
perfect, right? Okay. Yes. Let's see here. The nod. Nobody taught us how to do it. It's just part of it, and you know them, and you just kind of and if like you just kind of, even if you don't know them, you just kind of give a nod.
Mm-hmm. The nod. Absolutely.
The nod. Yeah. I see the nod.
Speaking of that,
which is hilarious, because sometimes, like, if I'm walking, I don't see the nod, and then I'll see a nod, and I'm like, what? And then I realize there's a nod.
Yeah.
The nod.
Speaking of that, this is so funny. There was this, I was with a group of people at a restaurant. There was 4 of us.
Okay.
At a table.
All right.
And there was a family that was the mother, father, and little boy. He probably 3.
Love this.
So they were done eating. They were getting ready to leave the restaurant, right? So we were the only table that was close to them, like that they had to walk by. So you know how it's like people speak to you or whatever. So the parents knew all of us, right? So we knew these people. So they hi, but the little boy was walking behind them, right? They were paying attention to him, but he saw his parents both speak. Little boy, he looks at all of us, just nodded, gave the nod toward the table.
Out.
Gave the nod.
I'm in love.
Gave the nod. And I was like,
I love that so much. Oh my goodness.
I said to one of the guys, "Did you see that? The nod."
Brad, that is so.
And he didn't say a word. He just he paused, nod, and walked on.
Right, I love that so much. Yeah. That is adorable. That is so cute. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yes. You can't make a big deal about it. I mean, and you have to.
Yeah, no,
because
that's the
bro code.
And he moved on, and we waited till he was not around, and all that was said was, "Did you see the nod?" Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And we moved
so
on
much.
From there.
I love that so much. I love that.
So this is the most I've talked about how that. But I had to.
But yeah, no. But I mean, like, to him, I mean,
right,
to the
3 years old nod
when it was happening. Did you nod back?
Yeah.
I could just love every bit of that. That is such a cute story. Oh my gosh, that'll be that's gonna be on my thought pattern on it. I love that. I love that so much, because he's got 3 years old. He's already picked up on that. You know that.
Yeah.
And you know what? They watch.
And I did see the dad later, not that day, a couple days later. I did say,
The nod.
He's got the nod.
Oh my
He's
God, I
like,
love that.
yep.
I feel like that's a rite of
Yep.
passage for a little young guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got the nod.
And that's all we
He
said
did the
about it too. I
nod. He
said
did the nod. You know what I
said
mean?
the other night, he's got the nod.
He did the
Yep.
nod. Oh my God, I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. Okay. Never take the middle urinal first. You always start with the one on the end.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that is
Oh,
no clue.
and
on
I will.
that. I have nothing to relate to any of that.
I mean, it's to the point where you walk in. Oh, positioning is wrong. I'm out.
Oh, that's hilarious. No way.
Yeah, and it goes with the
We
thing that I
never
said
do
earlier.
that.
Don't conversate at the urinal.
Yeah.
I don't care if you are my child. Shut up. I taught you better than that.
And don't even. Now, can you? Okay, this might be too
gosh.
graphic, but can you do the nod?
No, no, that's worse. That's worse. No. That's a whole nother can of worms. No, that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother. No. No,
nodding. Okay.
No, look straight
forward. Pretend it's not happening. Nothing's happening here.
Nod.
Nothing's happening here.
No.
Okay, these are okay. Let's see here. Okay, talk them down from crazy. Yes.
Yes.
And the crowd said yes. Okay. Okay, we got to hurry. Oh my gosh, it's 9:00. Okay, here we go. Number 11, do not for any reason in the world try to steal your friend's girl or ex. That's bro code.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
Okay.
That's
don't do it.
Don't
do it. Number 12, walk on the side closer to the traffic when you're with a girl. 100%. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I notice.
Yeah, but I think one thing that's tough about that is if it's two guys walking down the street, they won't walk right exactly next to each other. They'll be one will be a little bit behind, not as a power thing, as I'm used to walking closest to the street. Just pay attention to that sometime. Yeah,
I need to.
If I'm walking with another guy and they try to pigeonhole me next to away from the street, I'm like, calm down. I'll walk behind you. I will. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I do, and I love that. And as a girl, I love that. Yeah, I love that. And I notice that, and it happens often. You know what I mean? And I
unspoken respect.
Yeah, I love that. Calling your bros out with no mercy. Wait, real friends help become a better person instead of an enabler. I agree with that.
Yes,
I agree with that. And that's very hard. It's a very fine line.
And because that goes against men and women. That goes against human nature.
Yeah.
To be nurturing, sometimes we cross the line into enabling.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
I know. It's such a fine line. That goes. Yeah, that's very deep.
Yeah.
Number 14, only trash talk friends to their faces. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
I think men, you guys just completely give it.
That's the fun.
For fun part. Just give it to each other.
Yeah.
But then like behind your backs, you're not doing that. No, you're actually like talking really good about someone.
Yeah.
But to their face.
You start the sentence with, don't ever tell them I said something nice.
Exactly. Yes. Don't let this get back. Don't let this get back to them.
Yeah. And then you say something nice, like whatever.
Yeah. True. Okay. Last one. Do not expect to be rewarded for the following guy code. Do not reward anyone for the following guy code, just like the little 3-year-old. Mm-hmm. Do not acknowledge the existence of anything called the guy code.
Yes. You can talk about it like this, but other than that, it's just that you don't go, hey, did you notice that we had proper placement at the urinals? You don't talk about that. You just do it.
I love that. So these are the most underrated guy code rules.
Yeah.
Number 1, please don't talk about it. Or number 15, the number 1, do not expect to be rewarded for this.
Yeah. You only talk about it like in this scenario to understand, and people to understand. But yeah.
Other than that.
But like I said, and that was a good example with the nod. All I said was, because that's a milestone, that's a proud moment, proud papa moment. He's got the nod. Yep. And it was done. It was done.
How could you not acknowledge that? No, I mean, you'd have to.
That was supporting your bro.
I love that.
You're raising him right.
I love that so much. I love that.
That's just the way it is.
Kind of want to be around that little 3-year-old. I love that. Yeah. All right, Bradley, we got to get out of here
real quick.
Yes,
we got CMN going on.
Oh my gosh,
you got CMN going on.
Yeah.
And thank you for all of your support that you always give us with that.
I'm very happy about that.
You can round up, you can do different types of things. We had a ride last weekend. We're going to have a lot of things going on. We're going to have cotton candy, snow cones, all that stuff, popcorn up front. 100% goes to Riley.
Yes.
We did very well over last weekend. If you just want to make a donation, please do. We are very, we love being a part of what we can do for Riley. So we're very proud of that. And we have great customers that partner with us and sponsors. So we're very thankful for that. So next week, a week from Friday, not this Friday, but there is bingo. It's actually at the Scottsburg Moose.
Oh, yes.
There is bingo going on, and kids can come. They can have bingo. They can't win prizes, things like that. Right. But we're going to give stuff away. We're going to have all kinds of stuff going on. Great prizes, bingo going to Riley. And we are selling shirts, T-shirts that have Riley on the back and our store 7087 on the front. Customers are welcome to buy those, and 100% of the proceeds. And those shirts were donated 100%. We didn't even have to pay for those. And so those were donated by someone who they choose to remain anonymous. So that's great. And anyway, and so all that goes to Riley too. So if you see one of the T-shirts, talk to an associate about it. We'll be able to help you out there. So appreciate
which I'm wearing one today, and they're very cute, very cute, very
we
cute.
Have pink and black.
Yes, you do, and they're very comfortable. They're cute. They're very good, and I love that we love, and because we have so many Riley's children.
Yeah. And then in the next couple weeks, look out for our apparel section to be changed and some upgrades there, and so
can't even.
Yeah, and get out and enjoy Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to go check all.
I know, and a lot of stuff will go on clearance to make stuff, so you'll need another cart.
Gonna need a bigger cart. All right, Brad, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Foxworthy Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, Springs Valley Bank and Trust, and Temple & Temple.
All right, let's have the best Wednesday ever.